Well, here we go for yet another one. So, you see the title? Let's just go ahead and just jump right into it. So, I'm basically sticking my thumb and just checking the winds, basically. I'm feeling the winds, and I see that atheism, and more specifically, like, the rationalists, the Reddit atheists, are trying to make a comeback. The TJ, amazing atheist, of course, Vosh, debating with this Ocean Keltway guy about religion, and of course him being a pagan. Um, that Ocean Keltway guy tried so hard not to be too pushy and not to be, And I think this is part of the problem. Is that it's basically also about tolerance, right? Is that in many ways, religion in general, Christianity, Islam, these religions have bent over backwards so that they can accept people. This is also something that's been common even in the Protestantism, and with I'm trying to think of it, but I can't get there. The religion that Henry VIII kind of created to leave the Catholic Church. But we see that, I mean, to me, this is just the beginning of the end. This is just kind of the last gasp of like, oh, we can reach a better world. We can reach something better, and if only science could save us. And to me, I don't think science can save us. I don't think it will. Because people can come up with scientific ideas, but most people don't care about the ordinary, you know, the engineer or the scientist who's promoted by all these folks. I mean, do people really? I mean, let's think about it this way with air conditioning. Did people really think of the guy Willis Carrier creating that? No. They think of the HVAC technician that comes out there, or the installers that come up there and put in ductwork and put in those coils, right? It's the same type of thing with, the average everyday. And I think that, people get lost in that. But maybe I'm going way off topic here. But my point is this, is that, you know, whatever your views on religion, I think that you have people like Vosh who just can barely hold back their hatred of religion. Using, I mean, I'm so sick of him using the term axioms. I wish he would just stop trying to pretend to be a big brain nigga and just be like, if I was debating him, I'd be like, hey, you think it's cool that people dug up nuns? I mean, I know I give that example a lot, but it's like, bruh, it happened. Um, but I think that this is a last gasp of a dying world, of the West. The idea you know, of being atheist and making fun of Christianity, primarily, of course, most atheist YouTube channels they will talk about Christianity. Even more specifically, they'll talk about fundamentalist Christianity. They won't get into deeper aspects of Orthodox Christianity or Catholicism or even Anglicanism. That's what I was thinking of. They they just focus on maybe the evangelical types because it's easier. You know, they don't like to get into Islam too much because ultimately, once again, it's a very complicated thing. Or Buddhism, that's another one that they don't like to say. It's always Christianity. It's always that. Um, what I would say to that though is that we see this never works. Of course, people like Vosh will be the first ones to say, "Oh well, uh, the Soviet Union was fascist," and all this sort of thing. It's just like he holds similar views that Lenin did. Is that all religious organizations are reactionary, and he'll say the same thing. And I think that this Ocean Kiltsoy guy, I think, was trying to come in good faith. Yeah, he spurred out a little bit, but I think that he was trying not to sound like a nutcase. When Vosh throws out this whole human sacrifice stuff and all that, he's baiting folks. That's why, like I said, that's why I wouldn't debate him again. I tried to once, but that was more of a troll, and it wasn't. Anyway, my point is this: is, we're going to see a return to this sort of atheist, revival to a point. I don't think it's going to come up. It's not going to be as strong. It'll probably be a blip on most people's radar. But people are going to try to do it. And I think as well, I want to say this about the difference between religious folks and atheist folks is that the fact is that to me, atheists, true-blooded atheists, truly believe in the system. They truly believe in science. They truly believe in government and in democracy. And they truly, see these things as, but these are man-made structures. These are purely man-made. Of course, you can go ahead and say, oh, Catholicism is man-made too, or whatever. Yeah, but not completely. I'm not going to explain. I refuse to. The man-made come and go. And I think that, relying on institutions, relying on, good-minded people, is never really jibed with me. This idea that we're just going to believe the system and hope that it's best. No. Oh, what I will say, sorry, folks. What I will say to that is this is just, the normal course of things. As it we'll see the atheists try to come up and everything else like that, and they can run their mouths and whatnot, but they are simply the last gasps of a dying system, in my opinion. And you're going to have a return to religiosity of some form. Mix of various Christian types. And yeah, there will be wars. I'm sure there will be. But I think that there's going to be a lot of forgiveness as well. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting sleepy. But I'll wrap this up with this. The idea of trying to tolerate homosexuality or tolerating all these weird, freaky deaky sexual things that Christianity never liked, and were punished for, is definitely going to come back. I think that sort of, the fire and brimstone type of religion will return in some form. I think that's for the best. Like I say, because the thing is that you can't, being tolerant on one side or the other, especially religious people being tolerant of, homosexuality or of all the stuff that comes with it, the debauchery that comes with it, it just makes you look weaker, and it undermines your belief, in my opinion. Maybe I'm getting real schizo. You gotta let me know in the comments if I am. But and when I saw this when I'm listening to this Ocean Keltway guy try so desperately to be like, yeah, but you ought to look for plurality. This being anti-theist thing isn't going to work. And Vosh was like, I don't care. I just don't like religion. I'm okay with religious people. But then, of course, he doesn't. He's no different than any other type of atheist. He's no different than any sort of anti-theist. He just doesn't want to. He wants to give lip service to the idea that we're going to have a big coalition. And of course, like I said, that's bullshit. The thing is that if your revolution was successful, the religious people, you're going to be the first going against the wall, after the reactionaries and everything else. So I'd be careful, my friend. Just because you fought alongside them does not mean they think of you as your friend. I mean, that's my view of it. At the end of the day, I think it's just ridiculous when you see this sort of thing, and you see you can go ahead and say, oh, religion, it's caused so many wars and this and that. Yeah, but we've seen in the recent centuries of what atheism does. And I don't know. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll go ahead and wrap this video up. Ultimately, teal deer, basically is that this return to Reddit atheism and sort of the tolerance factor, I think, will level off eventually, and it's not going to affect. It's not gonna reach a lot of people, I think, because once that once the system does fall, and they see that all these things are, that science is not going to save people, and that science isn't going to provide a link, or the, dare I say it, but their version of God, which is technology, is going to save everything. It isn't. You're going to have to go back to old school religion, which means hard work, and it's going to mean a set of discipline. And that's really what it comes down to. That's what atheists and, other folks don't like, is the fact that, you're going to have to do hard work, and you're going to have to do a lot of physical labor. Notice I didn't say communists, because they like to force all that stuff too. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too much of a boomer, but let me go ahead and just wrap this up and say that ultimately this return to Reddit atheism, or this return to the rational sort of belief, it's not going to exist very long. Atheism only exists because this current system of capitalism exists in the same way. There will be a lot fewer atheists as soon as this system collapses, and you are forced to have to deal with your neighbors and have to look at the system as it is, and look at the way this country works as it is. And so your kind of false notions of like, we can all get along, this and that, it's not going to exist the same way. It's going to be, when worst comes to worst, my peoples come first. It already exists out there, but we all pretend that it doesn't. Only because we all are hooked up to this system still. But once it's gone, we're going to see the real shit come out. And that's all I can tell you. Anyway, see you later. Goodbye.